Hey, Disturbing listeners, Love is Blind, Season 3 just came out. Let's watch.
I've talked to you and we've developed an emotional connection for 10 days, and I propose to you. How is this not fucking weird? What, dude? Like, that, why are you sitting so far? Like, that's your fiance.
Okay, so Bartise is telling his partner, Nancy, that he is predicting that SK and Raven are not going to work out because they described how distant they were over the first 24 hours together. And they're reviewing what it was like to meet the people that they were also attracted to in the pods.
It didn't make sense to me, so I was like, I don't know.
I was very surprised that SK made it to my top, 4.
Yeah.
And when I saw him today, I definitely was like, okay, I'm good. Like, I'm so good. I was like, I'm good.
Okay, so that's a good move. She might be intuiting, or she's just sharing, but she might also be intuiting that Bartise might be like, hey, spouse of mine, partner of mine, you just met some of the guys that you might have been attracted to in the pods. How do you feel now? Do you still want to be with me? And she volunteers that. She's like, yeah, SK was in my top 4, and after meeting him in person, I'm just like, no, I'm good. I'm really good with my fiance. I don't think she's saying that SK is ugly or anything, but I think she's just reaffirming her love or an attraction to Bartise.
So that's the opposite of what I experienced. I'd love to see anybody for the first time. Raven's like the typical girl that I would go after in the real world. Like, Raven's, she came down, she wearing the tight clothes. I was like, okay, she's a fucking...
So I think they edited that, but at the very least, he is talking now about how when he saw Raven, he was very attracted to her, which you just have to wonder, why would you say? Now, you could say he's a radically honest person. There are people like this. There are relationships like this where they will just be like, look, we're human beings. Things are going to happen. I'm in love with you. I want to be with you. But, I'm a human being. I get attracted to people. And when I saw Raven, I was like, whoa, she's really attractive in my eyes. But that doesn't mean anything. I want to be with you, and I want you to trust everything that I say. And so I'm not going to edit those kinds of things. So, hope you can trust. Now, some people don't want to be with people like that. Or she might just say like, well, I want someone that is 100 billion% attracted and dedicated to me, and there isn't really any room for any attraction to anyone else. Not everyone is like that, but anyway, I'm a little worried how she's going to take this. It would be natural for her to be hurt and angry about this.
Like, Raven's, she came down, she wearing the tight clothes. I was like, okay, she's a fucking smoke show. She's hot as shit. I was like, okay, we're both like the person that people come to, and we both draw attention. They see Raven, they see me, they say, okay, that's the person I want to go.
And by implication, you're saying that your wife or your future wife, your fiance, is not one of those people who is attractive when she enters a room?
That's because we were so similar. And I literally cried because of you and Raven.
I didn't know that.
Damn, Nancy and Raven. I was like, fuck. I'm literally having feelings for multiple women right now.
Wow. Okay, well, if that's true, then it's good that he's disclosing it, and that could happen. It doesn't mean he's a bad person, but the way he's delivering it, I mean, does he not care? I mean, if that's happening, okay, the heart does what it does, but he could at least be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I could see how this would really hurt your feelings. Hopefully he'll get there. Jiminy.
Literally having feelings for multiple women right now. But you were up here, right? So I was like, damn, I have to trust my gut. And then here we are now. So it was a wild night.
Yeah, that's what you want to hear from your fiance. Just like a few weeks before you get married. Yeah, I wonder how she'll react to this. Now, maybe she'll be like, I don't know. He's just a goofball and he just says whatever's on his mind. He did say he wants to be with me, and I want to be with him. It's normal that he had some second thoughts because we just met. So what are you going to do? Or she's going to get really hurt and upset and they'll drive him apart, or he'll end up flirting more. I don't know. It's a reality show, so I'm guessing we'll find out.
It was a wild night for me. Are you cool with me being that honest with you?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know
Okay, so he says, so I wonder if he has experience with that. It's just like, I'm a very radically honest person. Is that okay with you? And she says, uh-huh. I mean, I'll say that his statements here, his vibe here is one that either is self-centered and or not really taking into account other people's feelings. He could have said that, he could have been honest about that while taking into account her feelings. There's so many different ways he could have delivered it. He just seems to be like a boy reporting something to his mom, right? It's just like, oh my God, this thing happened at school today, instead of really taking care of someone else's feelings. You really knowing like, whoa, this could really hurt the love of my life. I should probably be careful. Or I could push her away and then I could lose her, and then where am I? Maybe, I don't know, it just seems delivered so it's hard to watch. It's like, ouch.
Like, what the fuck? If you want a tall, blonde fitness girl, go to a body competition, find her there. Don't go on an experiment that is gonna potentially line you up with someone who's the complete opposite of what you like.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, you could say that for Bartise, he didn't know what he would find, and he wasn't strictly looking for someone like Raven. He was open to falling in love, and he did, with someone that isn't his normal type in terms of looks. And maybe that love is still strong, and maybe it's still there, and he's just honest in a way that other people aren't. So, but yeah, she's hurt and upset, which I could absolutely see. I mean, my goodness, the way he's wording this.
The fuck? If you want a tall, blonde fitness girl, go to a body competition, find her there. Don't go on an experiment that is gonna potentially line you up with someone who's the complete opposite of what you like.
It's not my, I was just, fuck it. I don't know.
And then so he is detecting that he has bothered her in some way. And so he's just like, never mind. F it. Yeah, I don't know. Never mind. Forget everything I just said. It's like, well, you already said it. So that reaction makes me think, because if he was really used to being radically honest with people, he'd say, look, I just have to tell you, I'm a radically honest person, and I believe in full honesty, and I'm being fully honest with you that I love you and I don't want to be with Raven. I want to be with you. I'll be radically honest and say that if I didn't know you, or if you had rejected me, I would be with Raven right now. And because, especially if I saw her, but that's just me being radically honest. And I'm being radically honest again with you that I want to be with you. And I'm sorry for my radical honesty, but I want you to be radically honest with me too. If you're attracted to someone, I don't want you to feel like you have to hold back and hide things from me. It might hurt if you tell me something, but I need to be able to deal with it. That's how close I want to be with you. That's how honest I want to be. I don't want to hide anything from you. Okay. Usually if you're a radically honest person and you're doing it well, I suppose, you'll have that at the ready and you'll acclimate, because most people are not radically honest, right? But that's not what we're hearing from him. He was honest with her, as he says, in a way that was understandably bothersome and, not only hurtful, but also from the look on her face makes me wonder if she's just like, oh my God, who am I engaged to? So many things were just revealed. Not only does he want to be with Raven, which is concerning, but the personality traits that I'm picking up from him right now. My goodness, what am I doing here? And so I could imagine that a lot of things would be happening for her. And his response to that is just like, I don't know, forget it, never mind. Which makes me think he doesn't really know what's happening. He didn't predict that would hurt her feelings. Like, what is going on? And just like that, this relationship is doomed or something. I don't know. Usually on this show, they don't recover. Although, Danielle and Nick had a really big blowout fight after the big party, right? And they recovered and got married. They got divorced, but they did get married. So, I don't know. This makes me worried. it's just so interesting because there's so much talk about, and let me comment on this. I'm sure I've commented before, is the intensity that these people go through when they're in the pods, that they're isolated from everything and all they hear are other people's voices, and they're also deprived of affection. Their love, or at least people that they could be affectionate with and get some of their physical needs met, just hugging someone or just eye contact, they are deprived from. It's like a affection deprivation tank. Now, of course, you can be affectionate through words, but a lot of it is nonverbal, right? And so you're in that situation, you're talking and you're longing, and you probably just want to hug someone, right? Aside from your pod people, people on your side of the pod. And so when you have an isolated environment like that, you just have so many feelings, right? And the way they talk about each other is like, oh my God, I've never felt this way before. And also you contrast it with the regular way people date, which is over Tinder and in the bars and whatnot. There's so many other options, and you might have a lot of options, and the person you're dating has a lot of options. And so you might date for a while you're dating other people. And even though you have the potential of falling in love, and maybe you will fall in love, but it's within the context of all these other things. You have all these other things interfering with your time together. You have your work and other kinds of obligations. Whereas here, it's just this concentrated, just massive. It's all, your entire life is the dating process, and then the falling in love process, and then the meeting each other process. And it just makes you wonder if, one, that would help people to bond, or two, give them the false impression that they're in love in a way that isn't actually enduring. Because it's sort of like you put two people on a deserted island and they eventually fall in love because there's no one else to talk to. There's no one else to fall in love with. And I wonder if when they run up against these sort of incompatibilities, they're just like, why did I have feelings for this? Now, of course, that happens all the time, right? We fall in love with people and we're just like, why did I fall in love with this person? Love and attraction is weird. And that's why typically, at least in mainstream American relationships, you want to give it some time so that it can put that to the test. Because if it is just infatuation or a delusional love, if you will, like you're imagining a person, but because there's a lot of gaps in your knowledge about each other in this situation. You don't know that much about each other. You don't know how you mesh, right? So your optimism and your hope fills in all the gaps so you can fall in love with that person. But if reality doesn't closely match what you're filling in, you could suddenly realize, like, what am I doing here? All right, well, that does it for that episode. Everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.